If the parliamentarian is your friend, he's going to cooperate with you. If you invite him for a program, he's going to come. And if they are having their own program, he will let you know if it's going to benefit you because you are his friend. Once the relationship is built, everything can work on that platform. Even if you don't have the resources, people can support you with their time because they are your friends. We started with the very lowest level class of the parliament. We invited them for meetings and told them, look, we have something to give you that will improve your capacity and your efficiency in your work. You have to take it from bottom to top. You build relationships gradually until you get to the top. You don't start from the top because it might be very difficult. You need those at the bottom to help you build the relationship with those at the top. And then you need to apply that principle. That was how we got into the parliament.
We identify these policymakers and decision makers within the government and non-state actors, bring them together, sensitize them about evidence-informed decision-making, and talk to them about what ECAS does in terms of the rapid response mechanism that we use for evidence-informed decision-making. After building these relationships, all along you are trying to push the agenda of EIDM, telling them about the positives of using evidence and the like. The next point is delivering. If the policymaker comes to you and gives you their policy question and they tell you they need the evidence within probably 2 days, 1 week, a month's time, and you fail to deliver, they are going to be disappointed. So you have to live up to the expectation. So you go build yourself so high that you can do all this amazing amount of work. So at the time of delivering, you have to ensure that you actually do deliver.
We publish a newsletter. It's called the PS Trinidad newsletter. Every month we actually publish it, giving them updates as to what is happening in the country and in the wider PS partnership. So that has worked very well. We also have regular coaching sessions with each of the ministries, and at those sessions we also update them as to what's happening and of course, what they can do, how they can gain, what opportunities are available to them, training for example. So those are some of the methods that we use to ensure that they are engaged and appraised as to what is happening.
The National Council of Justice in Brazil is responsible for all guidelines and normative pieces that guide the work of all the judicial system in the country. They brainstorm loads of key social problems they were facing there in the judiciary branch, and we said, can we maybe validate this with stakeholders all over the country, both citizens and judges and courthouses, to understand if your priority at the national level is the same. And we made a case to provide evidence for what was the priority at the local level, and it was stigma against formerly incarcerated people and their families. The National Justice Council said, okay, let's build a course and a normative so all judges and all services that are related to the judicial system that have contact with incarcerated people and their families follow this guideline. So from this interaction, we were able to reach every service in the country.
Before we started our work in the parliament, I learned about what the team from Brazil was doing in the parliament. We learned certain strategies that they were employing in getting things done with their engagement with the parliamentarians. And then we contextualized some of those lessons within our own setting.
We got good advice from Sandy from Epicenter of the UK to listen more. That is, when we engage with social ministries, it isn't that we know more than them. We have to listen to their approaches, how they do it, because they have been doing it before as well. And of course, they have different approaches. So listening to them surely does ensure that they themselves appreciate that we, are a partner.
Because of being part of peers, part of our objectives was to develop an ecosystem, an evidence-use ecosystem within the country, Uganda. So for us, we chose to work on a youth-centric policies in Uganda. We brought together a group of civil society organizations that work within the youth space. So we went through a process of priority setting where we asked them about the different youth-centric policies in the country and which they thought had the potential to have the highest impact in the land. So we prioritized, went through the process, and then we came up with 3 questions and zeroed down on 1 question. And that question was the National Sexuality Education Framework. So when you are talking to civil society and you're trying to give them a bit of direction on how to use the evidence and who to talk to, that ecosystem provides a kind of guidance.